Okay, we've just left the campsite. We're going to try and do some tiger fishing. And Amri reckons she's going to catch a bigger fish than I am. So, there's some competition going on. Okay, we've just left Chitaki. To be honest, I think it's actually a little bit too expensive because pricing is based on 6 people visiting the campsite, not just 2. So if there's 6, it's obviously a lot less, and it's still something that you've got to put on the bucket list. Although we did have lions stalking us, and I don't know how I saw it because it was just moonlight, and because we were in an elevated position, something caught my eye. I put the torch on and there was this lion stalking us pretty much, which was quite exciting. The trek to Chewore is just over 90 kilometers, and that should take us at least 3 hours to do. The road is mostly good dirt tracks with a few bridges that have been damaged during floods. There are alternative routes around the damaged bridges. The route will not be able to be driven during the rainy season when rivers are flowing, but Chewore is closed during those periods anyway. Turnoff to Chewore is around 30 kilometers down the track from Chitaki Springs turnoff. Chewore, along with monopools and an area called Sapi, forms part of a vast wilderness complex that has been declared a UNESCO World Heritage Site. 3 separate state-protected areas together make up this huge wilderness complex along the Zambezi River, Monopools National Park, and to the east of that, Sapi and Chewore safari areas. Around 75 kilometers down the river from Chewore is where the Luangwa and Zambezi meet at Kanyemba, which you would have seen on a previous episode. The track is mostly hard-packed gravel with a few sandy areas and a few dry riverbeds that you would have to cross. Those mountains in the distance are actually in Zambia, on the other side of the Zambezi River. When you arrive at the Chewore area, you have to go and check in at the Chewore field station, which is a slow and bumpy 15-odd kilometer drive. I do recommend dropping off any trailers at Chewore Lodge before doing this trip. It'll make your life so much easier. I was very surprised at how big the Chewore North field station was, and after checking in there, we headed back to Chewore to set up camp under its amazing trees. Chewore Lodge is located at the confluence of the Zambezi and Chewore rivers. Chewore Lodge offer both lodge and campsite facilities and is one of the top tiger fishing areas in the lower Zambezi. So I've been told. So it sounds like even I have a chance of catching a fish here. I hope. I was so impressed with the campsite and its facilities. They even offer deep freezers on every single campsite, something I haven't seen before. There's also lots of small little nice touches like this can crusher, because obviously when you're camping in an area like this you need to take out all your rubbish, and it makes it far easier to take out crushed cans than large size cans. We lazed around the rest of the afternoon in the campsite, as tomorrow we had booked an afternoon fishing trip on the river, and now things were getting serious with the competition. We also enjoyed another spectacular sunset in the Zambezi Valley. There's no sunset like the Zambezi sunset. The next day, Cannon, our guide and boat captain, arrived bang on time to collect us for the afternoon fishing competition. Trip.
At this time of day, it's not very hot yet. October, turn it off, man. That's what happened to.
Camping next to the Zambezi always gives you an awesome perspective on how big the river is, until you actually get out onto the Zambezi. Then you realize how big it really is, and the power of the river is just consistent and never ending. It's absolutely spectacular.
Okay, as you can see here, this the elephant crossing point. Every year they do cross from here to this island here. Then from there they proceed to another big island that side. Even when coming back, they use the same way, going back towards Zambian side.
They look like they're enjoying it, eh?
Yes.
Cannon also told us about a troop of monkeys that are trapped on the island. Apparently what happened is that a few years ago the river was so low that they were able to get onto the island. And without them realizing it, the river rose and trapped them on the island. Now back to the serious business of catching fish. Now I didn't realize this, but first we have to go and catch some bait. So Cannon took us to his favorite spot and patiently gave us lessons.
See how tiny these hooks are.
Oh,
These
sure.
are the ones which we use to
Catch the
the
bait.
bait. Yeah.
Oh,
Because the
okay.
chesafish have got a very small mouth,
Okay.
so you need to use a small hook. It's
Small
number
hook.
12, yes.
Okay.
Yes, you will see it when we land one.
Okay.
I'll show you.
Just don't fall out the boat if you catch a fish, Omri.
Yeah, I'm scared when I get that big tiger fish is going to pull me in.
I was pretty badly prepared, as I only had purchased tiger fishing tackle, so didn't have anything to catch the bait with. Luckily Cannon had prepared for us beginners. Now believe it or not, I did catch some bait, but I must admit, Omri caught far more than me. But I had to do the filming anyway, so that's my excuse and I'm sticking with it.
Big one.
After catching enough bait, it was time to go and try and catch some tiger fish. Cannon took us to another one of his favorite spots.
Come in August, so
Fishing for tiger fish on the Zambezi is mostly very relaxing, as you pretty much float downstream with your line in the water.
compared to those from the lake.
Oh,
The lake ones, they are too fat, but they don't fight much as compared to the river. Because these ones, they are like they are doing exercise every day in this fast flowing water. There's no time to rest. Every
No.
time they'll be. That's the tallest bed on the Zambezi.
Now we've all seen these fishing shows where the fisherman strikes, the cameraman catches the strike and the fish jumps out of the water in slow motion and it looks amazing. Well, it didn't quite work that way for us. I almost ended up dropping the camera and going for a swim in the Zambezi when this happened.
Don't lift up the rod wide. Drop it now. Right there. Wind it. Just drop it.
Keep going, you're doing well.
Right. Let's bring in this.
Keep winding.
Right. Hey!
That's a nice tiger.
sorry. those teeth. Whew. Whew.
Yo.
Yo.
18 pounds.
Okay, Omri, you got to hold it up.
Oh, she's like I'm shaking too much. I can't. Okay, well, this is just quick. I was just going to lose it.
Okay, wait.
Yeah, put it back.
How many pounds?
18.
13 pounds. Well done, Omri. Look at that.
Whew, look at this.
6 kgs.
Oh, yeah. Go. Yo.
Then it was my turn. But admittedly, I was catching what seemed like bait compared to the one that Omri had just caught with her second-hand broken fishing rod, I must add. All the gear and no idea comes to mind. But at least I was catching fish, and that's the main thing. Here, give me that.
See the tooth.
That's
3 kgs.
3 kgs, okay, they're getting bigger. After catching and releasing a whole bunch of tiger, much more than I expected, under Cannon's expert and patient guidance, we just floated down the river and watched the sunset. Absolutely spectacular. We eventually got back to Chewore Lodge, where the fire was lit. Omri then made us an awesome pasta for dinner, and I had to listen to her expert fishing stories and advice all night while I sat trying to relax next to the fire. Those rum and cokes went down well. At least I had finally caught some fish. A little later on, we heard some breaking twigs and rustles through the bushes and saw we had some visitors. And without blinding them with the bright torch, I tried to illuminate them so we could film them. The next day we had planned to have a relaxing day at the campsite and planned to do some checks and maintenance on the trailer and the vehicle. I found a sunny spot for the solar panels, plugged them in and started with my checks. So while on trips, I like to do some checks underneath the vehicle, underneath the trailer, and I found this. Bear in mind, this is a brand new trailer. It's done about 1,000 kilometers in South Africa, and now on this trip it's done about 1,400 kilometers. So it's done about close to 3,000 kilometers, of which I'm guessing probably around about 300 kilometers of dirt road. But not bad dirt road, pretty good dirt road where you can sort of sit between 40 and 60 k's an hour. And I do deflate the tires. The tires are running at 2 bar. The trailer hasn't been under much strain. And yet one of the shock absorbers have failed. Now if you remember in the Botswana series, we had 2 shock absorbers fail. After all the checks were done, we found some visitors to our campsite. I think these puff adders were possibly attracted to all the frogs in the bathroom that were there for the moisture in the water. A very stark reminder of how you need to be aware of your surroundings while visiting these areas. The puff adder is very venomous and is common in southern Africa. They are mostly nocturnal and solitary, which is why the sighting was so unique. The puff adder is one of the few snakes that give birth to live snakes, since the egg hatches inside the female's body. The venom is potentially cytotoxic, and a bite from it is a fairly serious medical emergency. It may take hours before symptoms start to develop also. If bitten, apply a pressure bandage and transport patients to the nearest large medical facility. Most people are bitten by stepping on the snake, as it's one of the few snakes that will lay there still when it hears you approaching, and is the reason most people end up standing on them. Most other snakes will disappear as soon as they hear you coming. I tied a motion camera to a large log. Unfortunately, a hippo seemed to find it and take a fancy to it. Fortunately, it survived the encounter.
It's 6:30 a.m. and we're going to go try and catch some fish.
Cannon was already at the boat ready and waiting for us. Competition was going to be fierce today.
What an absolutely beautiful morning, eh? Wow.
So we're going to go try our luck at catching some tiger fish today. How spectacular is that? Watching the sunrise while on the Zambezi. I don't think life could get any better right now. After catching some more bait, we threw in the lines and hoped the tiger were biting. Elmarie was first on the scoreboard again, tying the results. I'm sure that her and Cannon were working together.
Elmarie, the champion fisherman. Yes.
Woo.
Then it was my turn. The fight was on, and I was trying to call back on Elmarie's lead.
Oh, she's like it.
Good job.
She's like it. Ooh. How many?
Oh, shush.
5 pounds.
There we go. In your face, Bruce.
Well done.
In 2002. That's when I came down, and I left in 2007, basically, but in 2010, that's when I came in 2010.
It's a big one. Yes. This better be bigger than Omri's.
At least you are catching.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I was going to cry. £6.
6 pounds. Nice. See, I can catch a fish.
Not as big as mine.
Yes. Okay, shameless.
Keep pushing. Yes, well done.
Very, very tiring. Wow.
Show us your hands.
No, not this one. Ooh.
£4.
4 pounds.
Being on the river is absolutely spectacular and gives you a different perspective of the Zambezi Valley. I highly recommend that you try and do a boat trip when out in this region, whether in Mana Pools or Chewore or even Kenyemba. Try and get out onto the river. It's absolutely spectacular.
So there's a dead hippo, more or less, over there, I think. And these are all crocodiles, all along the bank. More than 50 of them. Oh, that's a big one. Oh my head, that's huge.
Woo. Yes,
Hey?
that was a mother.
That one, like the one from that day. Maybe 8 or 9 pounds.
Yo, now Amri, you got to hold it under its belly.
8 pounds. That's a bite from that one.
Okay, well done. That gave a good fight, that one.
Almri not only caught the biggest fish, but also beat me by catching more. But at least I caught some fish. A massive thank you to Cannon for the absolutely brilliant experience and all of his patient and expert guidance. It was sadly now time to head back to camp for our last afternoon and evening at Chewore. I also had to endure more mockery and bragging from Almri, which carries on even up until today. And all I wanted to do is enjoy the campfire and my rum in peace. But jokes aside, what an absolutely brilliant experience. Thank you again, Kenan, and the entire team at Chewore. The next morning we enjoyed the view for one last time before packing up and heading out of the Zambezi Valley. We hope to visit this magical place again soon. I highly recommend traveling through the Zambezi Valley. What you could do is you could visit Kariba, then head down to Chirundu. From Chirundu you head to Mada Pools, Chitaki Springs, visit the dinosaur footprints in Chewore South, visit Chirori Safari Lodge. Then you head up to Kanyemba, across to Harare to restock your supplies, and then head to the Eastern Highlands. What a diverse and spectacular route it would be. We did not see another vehicle on this entire route until we got to the tar roads, and even then there was hardly any traffic.
Baby, you give me ice and fire. You're giving me wind and rain. You're some kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight. You whip up my appetite. Don't leave me here high and dry.
If you are new to my channel, you may know what Chasing Smiles is about. But if you don't, Chasing Smiles is now an officially registered charity where our aim is to spread a little cheer in the communities we travel through by handing out soccer balls and pumps. So if you would like to find out more about how you can support the initiative or how you can get involved, please take a look at our website, chasingsmiles.org.
I'm going to give them the pump also, okay?
Okay.
So you can...
They are running there.
Okay, so it goes inside there. Pump. Just explain to them that they must play together.
In the next episode, we visit the Eastern Highlands of Zimbabwe, where we stop at Tony's coffee shop in the Vumba Mountains for some of the best cake and hot chocolate I've ever had.
So this is the famous Tony's coffee shop.
We then head to Save Conservancy for a quick visit on the way to Gonorrhea, where I get some more exercise.
Working off that muesli this morning.